Oh, Karen, I'll be here for a minute. Let's sit right here. Bye. 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 Let you know what we find out. How you guys are doing? I just, hey. Yeah, someone, Casey can hold the door and you can walk her out or whatever. What?
Hi, Brad.
Just as I will make sure I am available.
I don't know why we're not showing. Hello, Brad.
How's it going?
Somebody have me.
They call.
Did she get in her car? The link didn't come through. It didn't? Oh. It did, but I can't click on it, nothing happens. Have everything and what? Rude. There's also a phone number.
If possible, when you hop on, just try to mute yourself, please.
Mute you.
We have to treat you as hostiles. No hard feelings.
Yeah. There was one. I didn't put in time. The meeting will be. Oops, now I have. Here's going on phone. And that was on that email? It didn't come through. Is that what you punch when you do it?
Problems with special requests.
When it comes through.
Can, I guess.
And so I opened the attachments and nothing there. This is exactly what.
All righty. Good evening, everybody. I appreciate everyone hopping on, and we are just kind of having a kickoff call to discuss a couple of just kind of what the basketball season is going to look like, more from a rules and administrative point of view. We won't go into any deep dive into any type of what's going to happen at the regional events or anything like that. We'll probably have a separate call for that. And then also, even at the state tournaments, either in Manhattan or in Hayes, we'll have a call more directed at that. So, we won't get into what we're looking to do at opening ceremonies or anything like that. This is just kind of a little bit of on some rules and some administrative stuff, and kind of go from there. So anyway, again, thanks for joining. So just a couple of kind of housekeeping things. I know right now if the regional directors, including myself, will be sending out registrations if they haven't already. I'm looking to maybe get mine out tomorrow and then or early next week, and then so no one has missed anything. Registration deadlines will be coming up. The registration process will be just the way it has always been. So hopefully you'll be able to send in the Excel spreadsheets and go from there. But look for those. And then I know most of the tournaments are North Central, I think, is on the 22nd. The rest are on like the 29th or the next weekend. And then Metro's Sunday, March 9th. So those tournaments, those regional directors, you can direct any call or any questions or anything.
I heard 3.
And then I know the Southeast, which is predominantly skills, has theirs coming up. So anyway, a lot of basketball being played. A couple of things with regards, I will first talk about cheerleading real quick.
No,
For cheerleading at the regional and at state, we will be doing 2 cheers.
If you are not muted, go ahead and mute yourself because it'll give a lot of feedback. You can keep talking. Sorry.
But yeah, for cheerleading at the regional and the state level, we will have the format will just be 2 cheers. You will be divisioned ahead of time. And with the depending on if you're in the stunts division, large group, small group, and then from there you'll do your 2 cheers. And sorry, I'm admitting somebody. We'll do your 2 cheers, and you will pre-division, so you'll know that ahead of time, and then you will get your awards. At state, it'll be the same principle. Again, you'll do your 2 cheers and then straight to awards. The divisioning for the cheerleading will be basically if you took first in large group at regionals, then you'll probably be in the top 1 or 2 divisions at state, and so on and so forth. If you took second, you'll probably be in a middle division, so on and so forth. So anyway, we've had a couple of questions on cheerleading. So that is how we will be handling cheerleading. With regards to individual skills, it will be the same as always. We've had the rule that we have changed the rule, I should say, that now athletes, if you participate in team basketball level 1, well, obviously level 1 through 4, you cannot participate in skills, and we will enforce that rule.
we don't do that anyway.
Yeah, I don't know how many it actually applies to, but we will be looking to make sure there are no athletes that are actually in team play participating in skills. And then, but if you do team, if you're a organization that participates in team skills, those athletes can do team skills and also participate in individual skills. So we wanted to clarify that.
And the reason that we have made that change is because we feel like it's important to keep our individual skills for the athletes who we are serving in that area, specifically our lower level athletes. And we don't want to infiltrate that with a whole bunch of team athletes as well. Not only that, but it adds a lot longer time period if we have a bunch of level 4 players in particular participating in it. So that makes our skills a lot longer. And so this is just a way of us making sure that our lower level athletes just are competing against each other and not infiltrated with level 4 athletes as well.
And with regards to the teams divisioning and everything, I will put in a plug. If you are a fast break level 1 or level 2 team or in that division, we've talked about even getting rid of level 1 and level 2. Basically, if you're fast break, you're going to be in a fast break, whether you're a level 1 or a level 2, especially if you go to Hayes. Last year in Hayes, we only had 4 teams that were fast break. And I think 2 signed up level 1, 2 signed up level 2. If you're a fast break team, we're almost viewing you as one group and you will be seated accordingly. And so the divisioning, I think a lot of know that, but I will go ahead and mention that if you do have a team that you are try to err on the side of trying to get them to fast break, we can use many more fast break teams if we can, especially if you've got I know it gets tough when you guys are trying to decide where to put your teams, but if you would if you got some teams that you think might be able to try it, you've got a little time to practice before regionals and give it a go. If you get to regionals and find out that, yeah, it's just not going to work, we still have time to drop you to level 3 or whatnot. So I will put a plug in for that. And then just as we kind of look at the divisioning in general, I just want to reiterate that usually if you're in level 1A, let's say, then those are kind of viewed as the best teams. Level 1B would be the next set of groups, and then you go down whether it's number or whether it's A or B or however. But the higher the number, the more talented we view the team, and the lower the number, the less talented. I know I've had a lot more questions on that in the past than I would have thought. So I am just kind of mentioning that. And then also with regards to divisioning, if you are kind of how things end up working out is if you're the Tim Raider All-Stars and you have 3 teams in level 3 and you have your A team, your B team, and your C team, even if those 3 teams are pretty similar, we try to do our best to not have teams from the same organization play each other. So in that scenario, Team A would probably be in Division A, Team B would be in Division B, and Team C would be in Division C or Division 3. So in theory, it'd be something like the 3 best teams. Then we'd view the next group as the next best teams, and then on down the line. But if it does work out that an organization has 3 pretty even teams that, kind of beat up on each other, or however you want to say it, so a lot of times then the upper teams will end up probably getting the short end of the stick because they may be a little bit, because your Team A would put you a little higher, but on the flip side, usually the lower team then may be a little bit better, but they're kind of viewed in that bottom group. So I did kind of want to mention that, but we do try to, as much as we can. It's harder at the regional level with just the number of teams, especially like with the Flyers having so many teams and whatnot. But we do try to, one of the things we really look at is not having teams from the same organization play each other, even if talent-wise they might be similar or very similar, or even if their BSAT scores are equal. So I just wanted to iterate that. And then going forward, that's kind of how we'll look at things. So when we start placing teams from regionals and state, especially for state, if you do well at regionals, if you go 2-0, you're going to be placed higher up. So what I ask in that is, that's just a little more information about how we do it. But if something really if things get really a little wonky at regionals for whatever reason, please reach out to me and let me know. I don't want to have everyone calling me saying, "Oh, we played great. We're really not that good." That's not what I'm looking for, a little honest feedback. But we know there are situations where, I don't know, is Kurt Carter on? But anyway, for those of you who don't know Kurt, his son Eli he plays for the Flyers, and he is a 6'7", 6'8". And there are times if Eli is hitting all his shots, all of a sudden that team is a heck of a lot better. It's kind of the KU Hunter Dickinson thing. And then also, so that one game they'll score 35 points. But if Eli's having a rough game and just with his height, then all of a sudden, then I've had games, I've officiated games where they've scored 8 points. So kind of a wide range. And so I just ask you to kind of reach out, and if you had a really good or really bad regional, reach out to me and just give me a little bit of a heads up, because I know how things change and everything. But I did want to just kind of mention that. A couple of rules things as we go through. Again, just a reminder, level 1, level 2 is fast break. Level 3, level 4 is the non-fast break. Level 4 is a developmental division, because we let coaches on the court. And so if you have a team that is scoring, 15 to 20 points a game, you're probably not a level 3. That's not, or excuse me, you probably are a level 3. That's not really developmental. A lot of developmental is, if you're lucky, if your team's going to score, 8 to 10 points in a game is considered a great day for you. Or, even, some of those athletes that are still trying to figure out exactly what bucket they're shooting at and things like that. So I know we get into gray areas with high level 4, low level 3, so on and so forth. But I did want to stress that the level 4 is for the developmental, and much more of that to maybe help teams kind of decide where they want to be, what level they play. Couple other rules, clarifications is that for the high school game, or excuse me, we follow the high school rules. So the bonus rules have changed, and I got clarification today, Brent. And that, so if a team would happen to commit if your team commits 5 fouls in a quarter, then the other team will shoot 2 free throws. So there is no 1-and-1 anymore. We don't have a lot of games that get to that many fouls in a game especially in the lower levels. But again, it is by quarter. So if a team commits 5 or more fouls in a quarter, then the other team will get 2 free throws. And then on the free throws is you can enter the lane when the ball is released from the shooter. That's kind of went back and forth, but the high school is settled on. So again, we will have the free throw. The athletes on the lane can enter the lane as soon as the ball is released from the shooter. So again, that's basically all I have. Basketball is pretty straightforward. We don't have a lot of rule changes or anything like that. Brent or Olivia, any other staff that are on? Have I totally overshot anything? Or
the one thing that I do want to say is that in level 4, you know, Tim was kind of talking about it being a developmental division. Don't forget that you can only score a maximum of 8 points per half. And so if you put your team in level 4 and they have a better athlete and they score 8 points, they're out for the rest of the half. That happens in the second half as well. And that if they score that in the second half and you go to overtime, they cannot play in overtime. So make sure that you're thinking about that, putting your teams together and what levels they're in, because we've seen it before where somebody scores points real quick and then they're out for the rest of the half. And we don't want to do that to anybody either. So just be thinking about that while you're selecting your teams.
And any Southeast teams that are on, some things might be confusing. I had to since basketball is earlier, and I emailed this out, but just to reiterate, our basketball season's a little earlier, and we decided on the individual skills, no team play a little bit after I had sent the registration out. We made a decision. So at the regional level, we are doing individual skills and team, but we will not be at the state level, and we will not be moving forward from that, which will free up a lot of time. So I know it's confusing. I apologize, but we're just gonna roll with it. And then if you are going to the state level, you're gonna have to have 2 separate things, and then going forward, we will have 2 separate. So.
Hey, Tim, one thing I would suggest when you're doing.
Mary, you were muted halfway through. Still muted, Mary.
How about there?
There we go.
Okay. I would suggest that you put out to the whole state that all wheelchairs are accepted in individual skills and team skills, because every year we run into 3, 4, 5 people that didn't know that wheelchairs were acceptable to participate in any of the Special Olympics events. So just a heads up on that end.
All righty, let me make a note of that. I can do that easy enough.
Thank you.
Anyone have anything else? Any other comments, questions, anything they want to bring up while we kind of have everyone here is trying to get ahead of any questions that we may have? I know a lot of that will happen after the regional tournament, but anything that needs to be clarified right now?
Brent, are we still maybe going Thursday night for individual skills or team skills?
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the plan, as long as you guys are good with that.
Okay, I'll find out on Sunday then from my parents.
Okay.
See if that works.
Yep.
Thank you.
I just want to also say that I appreciate everybody for hopping on here tonight. It is, you know, it's important for us to get this information out. We have kind of seen throughout a lot of our events that sometimes not everybody's on the same page with everything, especially some rule changes or some rules. And we want to make sure that we're being as upfront and getting you guys that information as possible. The best way for us to do that is to have meetings like this. And we'll try to make them as brief as possible, but we do want to get everything out to you guys. And so we're going to continue to do things like this. We appreciate you hopping on with us. And I'm hoping that we can do this almost for every single sport. And I think that's the plan. We had talked to, Tim and I had talked about, and so that we can really, and it allows you guys to ask questions. If you are thinking of something, feel free to bring it to the meeting, because maybe somebody else in the group is also wanting to ask the same question. And so we're always, doing our thing, and sometimes we get tunnel vision, and we wanted to hear from you guys as well. So feel free to always come with questions and everything. And we do appreciate you hopping on.
And then I'll just add to that. I know region by region, sometimes we change things up based on what's going to work for our teams. So it's a good chance for you guys too to say, hey, at our regional, I didn't like how we did this, or I really liked how we did this. We as the sports staff are always trying to learn from one another. So as we do these calls, you might kind of hear something like, oh, I don't think we do that for our region. That might be true. And it just is totally based on the fact that we're all trying to do the best we can for our own regions. But we love feedback. So always let us know what's going well and what's not going well.
All righty, if no one has anything, I'll go ahead and end it. But again, thank you one last time. And if anything comes up, please reach out to myself or any of the regional directors, and you can expect some form of a call with each of the region tournaments coming up, and a little more event specific for there. And then for sure, for the state tournaments in Manhattan and in Hayes, we will have a call that will have much more detailed information for everyone with regards to those. So again, thank you for your time, and everyone be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
being.
you. Cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Be safe.